into this best of 5 TVP. Let's see what these two will show us. Let's see what we're going to get ourselves into the grand final. Bottom right hand side, the red Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion. This is ByuN. Taking on the blue Protoss to the top left from Dragon Kaiser Gaming. We have herO. Game 1 of our series. And we see whether herO can take yet another of these ESL Open Cups, or whether ByuN can stand in his way today. To figure this out. Let's say we get all of this started up. SCV moving around on the right hand side. Just gonna have ourselves the gateway, the assimilator all building through. We do have the probe on the way up as well inside of herO's, just getting that ready. And we have ourselves the barracks coming through on the side of ByuN. So again, a lot of setting up, a lot of preparations. Engineering Bay going to go down as a block on the natural expansion of herO's, so he's not going to be able to do much over here very easily. That Engineering Bay going to get quite a bit of HP on it. He sees it fast enough, but yeah, with the low ground gateway as well, which tries to get a zealot across the map quickly a lot of the time, it just means that now as, you know, herO, you got to try and stop and deal with this. And if you are going to pressure, I mean, you can still send the zealot across to let the probes deal with the Engineering Bay, but it's still going to be a little bit of a complication. It's still going to take a little while, as the probes will take off that Engineering Bay right now. It's just going to finish that up. Factory is starting, the orbital command's on the way, the reactor is coming up as well. As we just, like I say, get things up and running for these first few moments. And having ourselves the factory coming up from ByuN, who is yet to expand, so he's going to expand post-factory. It's just going to be a little bit more on the aggressive side, having his tech units out a little bit sooner. And next is just chilling here as we have a reactor coming up. Warp gate coming in. And yeah, the Hellion on the way out as well on the side of ByuN's, just continue to bring that through for a couple of moments. We do have ourselves the, again, a few units of ByuN just chilling on the bottom, a couple of Hellions coming in. Just getting ourselves set to go as we have a one adept. Gonna try and push up this ramp. Gonna go nibble at the depot just for a couple of moments, so trying to get some damage on that. One additional Rax goes down. Extra gateways coming up already from herO as well. It's just extra gates without the you know, tech structure to go alongside it. Really is just going to try and pressure ByuN heavily in these early stages. Will set him up nicely to defend. In theory, it should be difficult to deal damage when you've got 3 gates of units warping in, but obviously further down the line, you're then missing that tech. That's going to be delayed, and that's where you might run into a bit more of a problem. So definitely possible issues as the couple of gates continue through. We do have ourselves the warp gate about to finish. The Cyclone is still on the way out. The extra barracks are still building in as well. Just seeing that siege tank going through. The couple extra Marines coming out. Gun has expanded, of course. Just still needs to put that down on the low ground. But as long as he stays up on this high ground, it's actually going to be very difficult for his opponent to really do much for her here. He's going to have to wait around a few moments then. And that Twilight Council finally on the way, so we are going to start making some progress. There's ByuN moving to the low ground. This is where herO might actually find some damage then. If the CC is down there, he should be able to walk into that natural and find something. I mean, defensively though, tank, a Cyclone, 7 Marines, we're not in a bad place when it comes to units. This one adept shading forward, we'll see a few Marines, the tank will siege. The probe actually saw the setup as well, and I just don't think you have anything to really push through this as herO. So if your attack here is now going to kind of fall somewhat flat on its face, well, there you go. You see the Resonating Glaive starting up, so that's going to be a starting point instead now in terms of the plan of action. Flank starting next is on the way. The Hellions come over to grab a probe, and the Stalker continues to ping through a Hellion. And do actually get a Stalker warped in, though. Defense still good from herO, even if he's not finding much on the other side. He's also not letting ByuN find anything here, even scouting info. I think it is probably pretty typical. that you go into a... It's probably pretty typical you go into like a Twilight Council from here, because obviously you've built a lot of gateway units early. You want to try and make those gateway units good, right? So Twilight Council typically allows you to do that, and that's pretty much what we start to see right now. As the Cyclone will fight a Stalker in the center. New Cyclone does beat a Stalker one-on-one. If only just. So just succeed on that little trade out for a few moments. Again, got our Nexus coming up, our Blink coming in. And a couple of gates still coming out. Stalker's coming in there. We'll pick off that Cyclone that's obviously now taken out as well. However, ByuN using this as a chance. Knowing the units off on the right side of the map, he's going to use it as a chance to move up the left-hand side of the map. So away we go. Up the left. Stalkers and a Sentry. Moving around down the bottom. Those few SCVs joined together as well, by the way. So they're all going to join up and still see just a little bit of bio starting to move out. Then coming through, the Stalkers and the Warp Gates. Our Gateway is coming up as well. Marines and tanks are going to push forward and toward that natural. So in we go. I mean, herO just is clueless. He has absolutely no idea. First pylon going down. He's going to blink in. He's going after combat shields. Well, considering we've already got Stim, that's going to be the more important upgrade of this. ByuN will pull the SCVs. We're going to recall the Stalkers. Cybercore and this pylon will go down. The battery's already dead. Stalkers are recalling, obviously into trouble. And, well, we blink in. SCV is going to try and repair the tank sub, try and buy just a little bit more time. That's going to start working, especially now when you've already knocked down a few of the Stalkers. GG's, herO does not have the numbers he needs to hold on. And that's going to send ByuN to a 1. Game number 2. You can see ByuN just put himself in a great spot against what herO was trying to get done in that last game. Is in the bottom left-hand side. Our red Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion, ByuN. Takes on the blue Protoss in the upper right-hand side from Dragon Kaizi Gaming. This is herO. Jump onto Inu, who is a really awesome observer, and see what he will do in this. As we have ourselves the gateway, the racks, everything normal for the first few moments. The probe comes across the map early, and our refinery starts up as well, so we start to see the first little inkling of what's going to happen here. Get this underway. Get this all started. Well, again, it's difficult to say what herO should do differently. I mean, obviously, maybe just not go for the 3K build, right? It's as simple as just the style he picked really did not work in that last one, so I guess we'll see what happens. Coming back around, it's going to be seeing our Cybercore and a Nexus coming up. Getting in position here and just having the Pro taking a couple of shots. We're going to go in, get the probe. Just going to take that out nice and easily. Factory on the way up. Command Center coming in as part of that wall off, getting that ready to go as well. Still the assimilator coming through. Stargate is building, Nexus is coming in. We just have ourselves the factory coming up, the reactor coming through. Again, seeing ourselves the Adept coming out, and another depot coming into the front for a couple of moments. So, getting ready, getting rumbling. There's the Stargate from herO. So starting to see his tech choice. Stargate great defensively if this was to be some aggression or so. That generally does kind of put you on the right track. So it generally turns out quite nicely. As again, the Nexus coming through here for a couple of moments. Getting that up and rolling. Well, again, we sit back, we relax, we wait to see what is going to be happening next as we have the Oracle is on the way through, the warp gate just coming up for a couple of moments. Seeing ourselves, the Marines unloading here. I'm going to start putting a little bit of pressure in at the front as well, so getting through with that. Just going to see our Marines coming about and getting ready to rumble. Having the unload once again. A couple of cyclones nearby does make it a little bit scary. If you're not careful, you could definitely run into a bit of trouble with this, so some reason to be careful for sure, as we have the Oracles coming by, and they're going to go and attack on in. A few Marines going down as well, as we do have some pretty decent damage in general actually just being done there. That turns out to a pretty good start. This Oracle is doing so much. 14 SCVs going down. One absolute disaster for ByuN in the end. Just so much damage taken. His army on the map wiped, and suddenly this game is looking as though it's going to be all about herO. As, yeah, this one is just going to die just like that, apparently. So that ain't going to last long. As we now have ourselves, well, a few moments of continuing to set up. We've got our Oracle coming back into the main base. Marines come over. Oracle and the Raven going to get pushed back a little bit again. Phoenix going to dive in. They're going to find the Raven too. Go get the Raven for sure, herO. That's absolutely a good choice. That's absolutely a great call. That's only going to put you in a better spot here as we lift up for a Marine. Going to go for number 2. Just going to clean those out. The SCVs will perhaps be in a bit of trouble as well. Twilight Council and the Forge still building up. So we continue through with that for, again, a few extra moments. As we just have ourselves the Twilight Forge, the Phoenix, the Nexus. All of this continues to build in for a moment or so. There are the couple of add-ons going onto the starport, onto the factory. Phoenix coming across, and they're going to lift up a few of these Marines. Just going to get a couple of SCVs as well. Again, definitely just feels like this is becoming a very, very confident position for our Protoss player. Definitely just seems to be getting better and better for him. Do you see our Phoenix at +1 armor, our air weapons coming up, the charge is over halfway done as well at the moment, so continue to bring this through just for the moment. And this +1 attack, stim and combat shields all coming out as well, so bringing all of that through as a couple of Widow Mines will join the fray. The refinery coming up, the depot's coming out. And a couple of mines also in production. Our medevac's also producing through. We'll see. Once Stim and Combat Shields finishes, maybe ByuN can have a bit of a shot, but he's down 24 workers. I mean, his economy is terrible. I mean, he just took so much damage early on. Absolutely not looking great. Sorry, guys. Apparently my scoreboard didn't update when I thought I did it early. It is 1-0 to ByuN. As herO is in obviously a pretty good position in this game too, though, looking to tie this up perhaps. As the Phoenix +1 armor and the air weapons all continuing up for a few moments as well. So continue to bring that in. Cool. Takes a couple of Widow Mine shots. That does weaken up some Phoenix. We actually lose quite a few Phoenix there. I'm not sure if that's enough to necessarily knock us down or to slow us down too heavily. A Robo Facility coming out, the Blink coming up, and the air weapons coming through with the +1 attack upgrade. Also on the way here from herO. Again, all of this rolling. Medevac's actually going to find a few Zealots coming across as well. ByuN is definitely taking a good go of this. Don't get me wrong, he's still in a horrible economic position. His economy is absolutely in tatters. As the Marines come over, the couple of Zealots will get chased away. Simulated finishes, robotics facility will go down as well. It's just going to get that in position. Bio actually going to get force fielded away right there, so that's going to be a little bit more pain. The Phoenix going to try and come back around. The medevac's taking some damage. ByuN is going to still sit a little bit stuck over here. Definitely not having the greatest of times right now. As we just have... I mean, herO is still... I mean, he's still kind of not doing great, though, because Phoenix Charge is the kind of army that dies very easily, and we are on a lower army supply going into, like, ByuN and good amount of mines and everything as well. These mines are going to hit a bunch of zealots. Again, the split on one zealot, but not on the other, is only going to be seen as painful, I'm pretty sure, as now we have ourselves continuing back around, and what a wild situation this is starting to turn into. This is starting to become a little bit bonkers, if I do say so myself. You have the command center then landing back down over on the left-hand side. Blink is still coming up, getting that ready. The extra charge slots getting ready to go as well. We do drop the Robo Bay. Sorry, the extra gateway on the left side, but the Robo Bay and the Forge back at home. I mean, herO is still doing everything he can to make sure that he's going to be in the best position possible here. Just got that ByuN unit still gathering up for a little bit too. Nick's still gathering up on that bottom side, so just again out here chilling for a couple of moments. He's going to actually get in though for a few SCVs. Beyond supply is still hurting. I mean, it did feel like for a few moments maybe herO could have lost it, but I guess his economy was always going to be extremely good. That's probably the issue that we end up on at the end of the day, right? Is that the economy of herO is always going to be pretty darn decent. ByuN gathering up, 6 SCVs went down. herO just not finding a quick way to close this out, I guess, is what it comes down to. A little bit of fight going down. We just do have ourselves the, again, Disruptor coming up, the +2 attack, a +2 armor. I mean, just look at the production tab. Bit of everything from herO. ByuN's still building up, you know, Vikings and so on, things that will generally help him. But overall, is it going to be enough? Kind of difficult to believe that it would be. The Phoenix pull back to the right. The Stalkers are going to gather together. A few Zealots are going to begin to come through. They're going to deny the Zealot on the Sensor Tower there as well. It's just going to pick that off. As a couple of Widowmine shots will go down. Zealots continue to take hits, and this army of herO begins to press into this base. And ByuN find himself a fight. He's been sat back, he's been patient, he's been waiting, he's been hoping that his opponent makes a mistake. Let's see if that will turn out to be true, as the Bioforce will come through again. The command center is going to go down. We continue to fight there. A couple of Zealots taking damage. Next going around, ByuN is going to dive in, going to get a probe. A pylon now going for the gateway as well. So again, a lot we can pick off there. We do have ourselves a couple of gates coming through. The Nexus coming in. There's 2 Nexus actually on the way up. One on the top, one on the bottom. A couple of Disruptors coming out as well. And just seeing our Mothership is still about halfway gone. Continue to get a lot of building going. How's that ByuN going to turn into this? EMPs all across the Zealots and the Stalkers. Another Disruptor shot. Not quite going to land on that in the end, as we now have ourselves the army coming back over. Just seeing our Mothership about to pop. I very rarely cast the new Mothership. I only saw my first one the other day since the patch went live. There's going to be another one now, so Mothership will pop as herO and try and utilize that. I actually think the new Time Warp is the kind of thing that could be kind of cool, that could be kind of nice, so I guess we'll see if that has an impact here or not. How's that ByuN going on to those? Oh, let's continue to put some work in. I see the Colossi, Stalkers, and Disruptors coming out. The Mothership is still working out down to the south, so over there we go. Zealots are finding themselves. I mean, Ghosts over here is obviously a great catch. I mean, any sort of tech unit that you lose out on is going to be a pretty big deal. See that Bioforce gonna finish up the rocks. The extra Zealot's gonna warp in. The mothership will be here to support, so we'll see what this mothership can actually provide. I'm very intrigued. All snipes are lining up as well. Still interested to see if this mothership will provide anything of serious value or not in the next little bit, in the next little while. Shots come through. Gonna land on a couple of ByuN straight away there, just to begin with. We have the Vikings still chasing forwards. The Colossus being chased back as well. Let's continue to hunt that for the moment. Colossi firing. You see the Bioforce is still coming in. The Zealots are still chasing through as well, so they continue to go over there. That's going to make a little bit more of a push in. The Vikings are going to continue to fire. The Phoenix taking a few more shots. And Stalkers continue to fight. There is the Time Warp going down, so we're going to get that into position as well for the next couple of moments. The Colossi just about holding out. I mean, this might be a cleanup from ByuN. He might clean up everything, but herO has the 90 probe economy to rebuild with. That is the big difference. That is the deal breaker right now. That is what's going to essentially determine this game, because herO really can rebuild off it. ByuN leaves with more army supply. He probably... Obviously, he's completely drained. He's only got 3 bases. They're mining the bottom right side. Red Terran player is going to be ByuN from the Shopify Rebellion. Quick start for him. A bit of a rough game too. I mean, a game 2 that he was kind of dead in throughout. As in the top left is herO. Gateway in the simulator coming through then. I'm getting ourselves settled. We have our probe continue to wander to the top side, another SCV into the center. Let's see what ByuN is going to be planning with this SCV coming across. Maybe just an engineering bay block or so. It's the kind of thing that ByuN does typically anyways, so don't be too surprised to see that be his choice here. To get that underway. Gateway, barracks, all of that coming up as well, just for the moment. As there is the little build up over here as well. It's just going to get this underway, get this started. Like I said, just trying to block this, try and take control of what's going on for a couple of moments, and everything obviously makes a lot of sense, so just going to aim for that. You do get the cancel though. I mean, herO is pretty quick to deal with it. Army moving around just for a little bit. Benson on the way, next on the way up. Couple of racks already coming up as well here, so just get that started immediately right now. So 2 extra racks is going to be 3 racks in total. Command Center and a couple of additional Marines are going to be building. Let's just have ourselves the... Again, CC about to finish here. Again, Marines, Barracks all building up. The Warp Gate, Sentry, and Stalker producing through on the side of herO. We have that Stalker just producing in. Again, the Marines coming out. Just seeing where we take this as we have the battery coming through as well on the herO side of things. So, all of that coming through. The Marines still going to sit tight on the natural, and as though with the Twilight Council, our tech is decided, then from herO we roughly know what we're going to be trying to get done here. As the Adept and the Sentry continue to settle themselves down. SCV is mining away comfortably. And Twilight Council coming up. The Warp Gate coming through. Hallucination comes straight in. The Marines are going to come over there. Stimpack and so on coming up. Facility, a couple gates coming by, and get this settled. Yeah, just gonna see that blink continuing through as well. So bring that blink in, the robo facility about to finish. Pretty standard stuff then from herO. We do see stim and combat shields both on the way from ByuN, continuing to get that up. As again, he is on this 3-rack, so gonna have a little bit of a scary push right now. Because we're not on a fast third from herO, I don't think he's gonna be in any real danger or anything though. Can't really foresee ByuN having too good of a time with this. As he will continue through the middle of the map still, however, and maybe we will see something coming out of that in the next few moments as this Bioforce pushes all the way up. Marines and a couple of Marauders involved. And again, that Stimpack is about to finish, so I mean, if there was a third base here, or units were down this ramp, there might be some hope, but obviously against the sentries and the force fields, it's just unrealistic to expect anything to come of that. As a +1 attack and +1 armor upgrades come through, the Marines go after the hallucinated Void Ray for a couple of moments as well. So just see now Observer and the Zealot and the Stalker continuing to get set here as have the Marines and the Marauders coming back through, heading back across to the bottom right side. No reason for them to really stick around on the top left. If there's no third base, there's no third base there. herO is opting to go for the double forge, by the way. So again, 1-1 upgrades very quickly from him. So he's going to really prioritize double upgrades. He's going to use that as a way to try and turn things in his favor a little bit, perhaps. And as our Marines continue to trade with these Stalkers, and the Stalkers do, in the end, lift up and back away in the prism. A couple of Marauders coming through, the +1 attack upgrade coming up. We have ourselves the Stalker and Marine in the center. Obviously, there's Marine just watching for what else is going on. Still nice. I mean, we get a few kills, of course, straight away, so that's definitely very beneficial. That works out nicely. And just seeing our Prism and Stalkers continuing back once again around this bottom side. We're going to go maybe blink up into this main. Again, more or less just SCV hunting at the moment, as we do find a couple. The ByuNs will stim back across. Actually, Prism will take a few shots. Won't go down, but low enough that if that happened a second time, you would actually kill it the second time around, right? So it's definitely a factor. Fire comes out the front. A few SCVs take their step over to the side. Colossus charge, +1/+1, extended thermal lance, all of that continues in here as well. Still just seeing the +1 attack upgrade about to finish up on the side of ByuN, so he's going to have his own upgrades, but obviously not quite as powerful as the upgrades of herO. herO's upgrades really are quite substantial here. Again, 2-2 coming out, extended thermal lens, the charge coming in. We have our Colossus coming up, and the Nexus is coming through as well, so herO just comfortably getting to 3 bases, but it is a late third. Right, that's the most important thing to know. The Terran's third is so much faster, so much sooner. herO really chose to be on 2 bases for a long time in order to build up into Colossi, 2-2 upgrades, and just all of this kind of expensive tech. Build up into that freely, right? Build up into that without having any issues along the way. That's the important part of what's happened here. Obviously, ByuN, you might say, well, like 20 worker lead and, you know, all this and that. But in theory, herO is saying that he thinks his army will be good enough to take on ByuN's simply for the fact that it's going to have all of that expensive tech as part of it. So we'll see if that theory works out for herO or not, given a little bit of time. You have the hallucination moving around and just you want to go join up with a little buddy for a couple of moments there. The battery is about to finish. Ghost on the way, +1 armor, halfway done. And T2 upgrades continuing in as our Disruptor is going to finish shortly. A couple Stalkers and Probes all pouring out. Our missile turret finishing on that right-hand side as well. Couple tankies. Just going to unsiege and relocate our stalkers through into the center. Going to grab themselves a marine. Again, our 2-2 upgrades coming in. Our disruptors coming across. Bio is going to go stimming up to the top side of the map. Our few zealots there are going to get caught. Obviously, nice catch from ByuN to chase those back. Again, ByuN finishing his +1 armor as the 2-2 finishes from herO. So down an entire set of upgrades. Is ByuN's army good enough? I mean, the thing is now herO's getting up to that 3 base eco. ByuN has to dodge a disruptor. Doesn't eat it on the siege tank. Prism is lingering as well, trying to get himself forward with a couple of units and save a couple from shots as well. ByuN is going to fall back. Obviously, the longer this game goes, the better for herO. The more herO essentially gets away with the greed that he set up for in the early stages. This Bio and a couple of ghosts pulling all the way back. Comes back around the right side. The Vikings coming through. We have our 2-2 upgrades on the way up as well. +1 ship weapons also coming in. Those extra marines coming in for the moment also as our Bio comes across. A couple of SCVs getting some nibbles on the tank. I was just going to go back onto rocks and obviously just open the map up a little bit. You do see ByuN is looking around with his army, still trying to find what is happening and where. Have ourselves the Bioforce still gathering up. Missile turret will take a few shots of damage, and just seeing again Zealots, Disruptors, 3-3 upgrades, all of this being brought out. 2-2 upgrades coming up, +1 ship weapons coming through. A ghost coming across there as well. Gonna fire up a couple of cheeky shots. Yeah, a couple of missile turrets are still on the way out. Command centers are building, +1 ship weapons is producing. ByuN getting his own upgrades, but it's just not at the same speed. I mean, herO's gonna have 3-3 very soon. These upgrades are incredible for him. And again, has he just gotten away with all of that greed I've been mentioning? Has he just gotten away with all of that? No problem at all. Right now, it really does seem as though he might have done. As the Bio steps forward, a pylon will get knocked down there straight away. Fusion core coming up, and EMP goes down. Sentry and a few zealots getting tagged. Tank shots are good onto a few of those stalkers, and again, now Marines are going to stim down this left side. That's a dead Prism. Thank you very much. We take those. That's a nice little donation for sure as our zealots continue across into this natural. Going to go after a few of those SCVs, so they will begin to drop. Our SCVs still going down. 4 workers killed. The ghosts lining up some EMPs also. ByuN pulling back. He's about to have his +2 attack. He's a little bit choked up here, though. I mean, that kind of rings true. If you run forward, herO's losing so many disruptors. The tank shots on those disruptors were pretty disgusting. herO lost a bunch, and with another tank shot or so, he might have lost 3 more. They were just all clumped together. Easy target firing from ByuN as he moves back around this right side, still warning herO off with the EMPs, which is pretty much just essential for him to keep on doing at this stage, I guess. Is now we're going to take a dive forward again. A couple more disruptors coming through. The zealots in the center over that right-hand side. And the sensor tower is currently burning down. That's 3-3 +2 ship weapons coming up. We go around the right side with the Bioforce. A couple of Vikings shooting, a few Marauders coming in. And Ghost is there. It's going to get picked off pretty quickly as our disruptors land for a couple more kills. This is where ByuN has to keep dodging. You can't let a big disruptor shot go off, and that's what's so powerful about this Protoss army, is that these disruptors can really do a lot to zone the terror, and you can see the supplies. herO is max, barely reproducing anything. ByuN is at 166, and he is struggling to keep up with the pressure that herO is applying right now. Bio here again, couple zealots start to get knocked down, disruptor shots fly through. EMPs across everything. The Liberators are going to do whatever they can. These disruptors still flying up that ramp, but still not quite going to be enough. With the Liberators siege, it is going to be ByuN really bringing this fight back a little bit. He dives forwards, looking for the Colossi, at least kill those, and you get rid of some of the tech units here. Marauders will chase, the Disruptor chases away, only gets Marines. Like I say, ByuN is very much so alive right now, as our Liberators continue to produce. Marauders, a Marine, the +2 ship weapons, and 3-3, all on the way out as well on the side of ByuN, getting a bit of everything on the go. My goodness, what a wild time as we have the Temple Archives coming up, the couple Nexus building from herO, like I say, double expanding. But ByuN's supply is now in a lead, and he is about to have 3-3. He's about to wipe out that entire upgrade lead that we've been talking so positively about for herO this entire time. That's about to be gone. And once that is wiped out, perhaps that's where issues really will arise. And as a result, Disruptors, a Colossus coming around. A couple of Disruptor shots will fly, but not land on too much straight away there. Fire comes over, Command Center will land one more time. We just have ourselves a couple of Colossi, the Archons, all continuing up for a couple of moments. Disruptor shots firing through, a couple of Marines will take some damage. And do have ourselves the Medivacs coming back over, and the Bioforce still getting a little bit into play. We see the army coming through still here as we have the Fire coming back up. Just going to drop down a probe and just going to jump on this base. At least ByuN now trying to take advantage of some of this bio. He's going to target fire down multiple Disruptors here before he has to leave. He gets 3, and he does make the liftoff before it gets too disastrous for him. The couple of Medivacs boost away over on the edges. One more Disruptor shot just chasing and finding a Widow Mine. Dr. Shrine on the way up. herO again investigating the later stage options for him as he does look to knock down his planetary, while ByuN will find himself a base. This time there's no recall, so herO can't just get home easily. The planetary held a little bit of time at least, so that's a bonus. Survived a little while longer as now one Nexus goes down. herO's going to continue forward for bases too, and we enter full-on base trade mode here on Site Delta. We are just going to go and chase each other down, so let's see how it goes. SCV's pulling in. We start to jump on that pretty much immediately as the Bioforce trying to hold off a couple Liberators as well. Any units you can just chip down here would be great. The Planetary plus Libs and everything. I really feel like herO's just going to be losing so much more than ByuN is. And ByuN, he really has so far succeeded. He's going to kill off all of these probes over here. And he can obviously move up to the next base along this Planetary. Will get a few more shots at least, so ByuN's still chipping through the army of his opponent. Planetary does now go down. The Liberator's coming up. The Marauder's coming through. There's Bioforce still on now. The Nexus on the natural. And there is a base top right. That hidden base from herO a little bit is potentially going to get something done. We've got Disruptors being shot down by the Lib. Any tech unit is huge. What a big deal that is, as again we continue up here from herO. His supply down by about 40 to 50. More Liberators from ByuN. Oh no, he's got Liberators just flying forward. That's not good. They should be sieged on the ramp. They could do so much if they were. Obviously that's a real shame, missing out on just some potential. As a few Marauders clean up, we still move up into this main base. herO doesn't have the money to rebuild, so this is very much so a case of ByuN just wiping out base after base, but eventually we'll have to find the top right, although he has a few units that, okay, he just scanned everywhere, he found it, he knows where herO is at, he knows where herO's structures are, so he's going to go and knock this top right base down. herO could recall here if he wants to try and defend the Nexus, if he feels like that's his only shot. Obviously that would let ByuN kind of get away with maybe the main base staying up and around, and I'm not sure you can really justify that as herO. I'm not sure herO really has a great answer right now in terms of what's going on. Obviously, Dark Shrine was in play, but we only have one DT in play. ByuN still has 4 orbitals, so yeah, he's absolutely fine. I was looking for that in production tab. Colossi here going down, as this looks as though it's just going to be ByuN's game. He had to play it patiently because herO's very well set up for the tank corner. We will have ourselves the Red Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion. 2-1 in the lead right now. He is ByuN. Taking on the blue Protoss in the bottom right from Dragon Kaizi Gaming, herO. Alright then, do or die time then. For herO here as he is down 1-2 ByuN. He's been playing well lately. Cracks in the gate coming up to start us off. We do have ourselves the SCVs just trying to get the probe. Very nearly lost one SCV, but we do have the Cybercore coming in. Don't think you've ever seen a Protoss win a base trade. We saw Protoss win a base trade like 3 days ago. I can't remember what matchup it was, but Protoss can be very good in base trades if they instigate the base trade, get good damage done, and then recall before the Terran can base trade. Obviously, Terrans are pretty good in base trade. They have mobility, right? They have mobility, they have the ability to lift and relocate. Their army is more mobile, which goes a long way in base trading as well. Protoss likes to be kind of a bit more clumped up. Terran can split up. But the power of recall is very good in base trade because you can get your entire army back home. And if you just get the edge in the base trade, by recalling, you can absolutely hammer that edge, you know, home for yourself. So, there's definitely something to it. There's definitely a little bit of something to it, that's for sure. Once that probe comes back up around this top here, heading in toward our main base just for a little bit of a peek as to what is going on in these early stages. Marine gets there, probe gets picked off, gain factory coming up, reactor coming through. The Stargate is just about halfway done as well, so continue to bring that in for the moment. As there is the Adept, continue to make its way towards the upper left-hand side, so there goes our Adept. Are these games happening right now? Yes, this is live every Monday, ESL Open Cup Korea. It's live. Marines on the way out, as we do have our starport finishing shortly. We do have the Adepts also looking to put on a bit of pressure. This is an expansion from ByuN, but in the main base, so he doesn't have to worry so much about the initial Adept harass or any problems that might create or cause or anything along those lines. Getting a couple of Marines and the medevac continue through. The robo facility will come up. A couple of probes are still on the way out. Just having ourselves the command center. Going to float down towards the natural location as the Adepts will block this for just a few moments, trying to be annoying. They will commit to the shade now, and they will get out of there, so that will be the end of that. Robotics facility finishing obviously with Phoenix on the way, a bit of a different one from herO. And he's going to play the Phoenix style to get set up at first. Cloaking coming up, Banshee and a couple of Marines all coming out. We have ourselves the Phoenix going to go back over on the natural expansion, so just playing safe. Obviously, these Phoenix are going to be very good defensively. With ByuN going into Cloak, he's going to go for like a Marine tank Banshee push, it would seem. First Widow Mine drop boosting through, but the Phoenix, of course, can pretty much just lift up a Widow Mine and just be done with it, so we're waiting, and now we're going to drop, and yeah, this does nothing. Again, Phoenix very good defensively. They will 99% of the time deal with a Widow Mine drop without taking any damage, and that's exactly the case here. As the starport lifts off the deck cloud, going to move up the top. This barracks, as it finishes, will be able to come through as well, so we'll get that ready to go. Robo Bay coming up, next coming through. We just have ourselves the barracks still coming up here on the side of ByuN, so he gets himself powered up. He's going to add a barracks number 4 and 5 as well. Double engineering base with this third base. So far, so good. Let's just have our Phoenix picking off a couple of these SCVs. In the end, just one Banshee cancels Cloak, realizes it's just not going to work out against a Phoenix style, so ByuN basically just adapting to what his opponent does and what his opponent shows here. The Banshee now does show up, so the one Cloakless Banshee is going to actually find the chance across the map, and the Marines now get a Phoenix as well. They're actually going to see the Phoenix recall, and so this Banshee, 6 probes, forces a recall. That's actually a really good trade for ByuN. That's a fantastic little bit of damage just early in this game. herO not having anything prepared at home, and this one Banshee sneaks in for, again, a lot of damage. Phoenix come back up around the top. We do see missile turrets continue to build. +1/+1 upgrades and Stimpak continue to come through. That means that ByuN's bio army is obviously well on the way to being fairly successfully set up. As the Phoenix try and poke their way around towards the natural. Missile turret in position. Zones the Phoenix very nicely to begin with as our command center third lane lifts off and is going to float down to the low ground. So that low ground position going to be taken fairly soon here. Orbital then continues across and again charge +1, all of that continues. Actually 1-1 upgrades from herO, so he's also going to go double forward, but obviously not as quickly as he did last game. But still get, catch up with the 1-1 of ByuN. Obviously you do have Chrono Boost, so that will help you out as a Protoss player in this setup. As ByuN's deciding what they want to try and do. We still see our Forge coming up, +1 attack upgrade, the charge coming in. We do have our Phoenix just going to go jump on a couple of these SUVs. Going to find one more as well. One more upgrades, the combat shield coming up, concussive shells too. Our medevac still coming in as we have ourselves the 1-1 charge and extended thermal lance all building. We're just going to go nibbling at the pylon, so pylon will take some shots and our charge about to finish. And again, all of herO's tech choices are starting to come up and online. As she hops up to the high ground, the probe is going to go down, so that's going to get picked off. Making 2 probes, the Phoenix lift up, they are going to get rid of this Reaper. Also come up, and that's going to be already one just depot going down. So herO's actually here to attack as 3 Colossi currently leading the charge. Obviously everything else is set up as well. ByuN's about to have combat shield. Upgrades will be even 1-1s apiece. ByuN's going to start moving forward here. His tank was obviously with the army. Oh, I love that. The Phoenix going to lift up every single Marauder. So the Phoenix just going to take the units that are meant to be good against the Colossi out of the equation. However, a lot of the Zealots just sort of melting. In the end, I don't think ByuN can really justify continuing through, but I liked how herO approached this. Now ByuN's in a weird spot because he can't justify going forward, and yet his opponent is sitting on his natural, dealing a lot of damage. Not exactly the position you want to be in. Sentries and the Disruptor continue up. We do see the Bio there to fight. 12 SCVs going down. This is where ByuN starts to look to be in a bit more trouble. However, he instigates the attack across the map. Now we're going to recall home as herO. You got to be careful here. ByuN can target down tech units straight away as the recall comes in. We kill 2 Colossi, lift up and get away. Dare I say, ByuN did very well with this. I mean, 16 probes killed. He loses 26 SCVs, so he's down by about 8. But I would say that this was pretty good, no? As now you got to decide which medevacs we go after. We go after the full ones. Full one goes down. ByuN's that unload. Okay. It was very good for ByuN if everything got out alive. With the Phoenix coming back, they are able to clean up the medevacs, and that should pretty much set this in stone as herO's advantage. Man, that was close though. That was close. Two coming up. Ghosts and Marines continue to build. Get further set. Here's our Bio sits at the front. We're going to grab the Observer. See now, Zealot's coming around. The Colossus firing up a little bit. Let's see a few of these SCVs getting picked away. Add a Bio Force sitting around. The EMP is going to go down on a few Zealots. This Disruptor shot chasing. Obviously, ByuN is lacking in general. It looks as though herO, considering he's got the natural expansion of ByuN up in the skies as well, is looking pretty decent. Also, still trying to make a press forward. The Ghost there. The one EMP that remains. Well, he actually has some Ghosts up top as well, but just in general, things are not exactly looking super pretty. As the Colossus continues, the Phoenix coming up. Blink is on the way. Fire still coming through. We get a few more shots off. We do have ourselves the extra warp in on the left-hand side. Zealots go charging forward. A few more force fields getting put into play, and I mean, everything about this from herO is just looking brilliant. We really do, I think, have Game 5 coming our way. ByuN has an upgrade lead. That's pretty much the one thing he has. Everything else is herO this and herO that, and herO absolutely everything is. The upgrades continue through. The blink as well. A couple zealots going after the SCVs. Bio from two sides, top and right. As we'll even pull a few SCVs into this. ByuN just desperate to defend in any possible way. I just don't think it's going to be enough. Phoenix lift up all these Marauders. The zealots keep on charging through. I think we have ourselves pretty much just game on the board. I've said it a few times over. Both the games that herO's won have been kind of slow grinds towards victory once he gets into a very good position, and as kind of mentioned, this one is seemingly no different. There's a couple of Wood of Mines still setting up on the natural, and just going to see the Bio still coming through, chasing the Colossus back, and all the rest. A couple of Wood of Mines going to unburrow and relocate. SL turrets will get set up. We do still have 2-2 coming up. The blink on the way. Disruptor about halfway done. 7 additional Stalkers being warped in here now as we move up to this high ground. We get ready to push into this third location. Battery... sorry, not batteries. Depot's going to take some of the brunt of the damage at first. We do have a lone Colossus! Sacrificing himself from the bottom side for the good of the Protoss race, apparently. Well, like I say, herO is still significantly ahead. It is just a case of finding the final fight, which shouldn't really be as challenging as it's turning out to be. Oh, it doesn't feel like it should. I guess a very defensive, choked up position. Helping out as we just see our Bioforce coming back around. Another couple of Widow Mines popping. Trying to hit Stalkers blinking back again. EOP goes down. As we just have our Zealots and Colossi continue to come in. This is just going to be GG's. herO is going to have game number 4, and it's now 2-2, tied up in this best of 5. We are going to go the distance in our finals today. We like an aggressive small map. Could see some pretty fun games play out in Solaris. I like Solaris because it feels different. You know, it feels like it has a bit of personality almost as a map. You know, if that makes sense. So yeah, a map with a bit of personality. So our bottom left, red Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion is ByuN. Taking on the the blue Protoss in the top right from Dragon Kaisi. It is herO. herO straight away. Pylon on one side of the rocks. That's actually very cool. Pylon on this side, Gateway on the other. So the Pylon is protected, more difficult to kill for the Terran, while getting the Gateway as close to the Terran base as possible. Probing the SCV. And then go nibbling at each other right there. Bit of back and forth as we just have our Gateway coming up, our racks coming through. STV chasing that Proby around. Just have obviously the scouting through, but obviously the Zealot is coming up so quickly, and it's not just going to be the Zealot. When the Cybercore is done, I imagine we see a Stalker out of here quickly as well. Cybercore coming up, the SCVs get there to pick off the probe. And yeah, the Nexus and a Cybercore coming up at home as the Nexus, so we are in fact going to expand from here. I mean, that was kind of expected. I didn't think we were going to one base from this or anything. This really does just scream, I want to say light pressure, I mean light commitment to use some pressure. So that moves up this ramp and just going to be seeing the SCV going down. ByuN has the wall. ByuN has been pretty consistently expanding on the high ground, so I actually wonder if this is a good choice even from herO, because there's someone that's been expanding on the high ground so frequently, as we're going to get 1 probe and now look for 2, we get 2. Someone that's been expanding on the high ground so frequently, surely this kind of build is just so much less, you know, viable than usual, so much less effective. couple of SCVs continue to repair up the depot. The bunker will be finishing in a moment as well. The Marines can go jump into said bunker. And we hop. The Stork's going to get chased back. The Zealot now taking some damage also. That depot does start to get repaired. Twilight Council building from herO. Again, a couple of probes coming out. And Warp Gate is going to be finishing very shortly, and just having ourselves the Twilight Council still coming through. A single adept sheds up this ramp. The Stalkers will be there to help fight. And the depot will continue to take some shots. The SCVs pull across and they jump straight onto this depot just for the moment. Depot gets repaired up. Zealot pulls back to the upper right side. Still gathering here from herO, heading down the bottom left. We got Blink and a couple of probes on the way up. Again, the barracks, the tech lab continuing through. Another barracks coming up as well. And just having our Reaper getting shot down by that Stalker. So Stalker able to nab that nice and easy. And again, the orbital just flying across here as the few Marines come through. The Adept taking damage. Widowmine burrows and does just about get in the ground there. This Stalker very nearly going down as well. This little duel of early game micro is obviously always an enticing one because, especially when you have ByuN and herO going at it, there's a lot to witness and a lot that can happen. Seeing a good amount of that right now as we just have this tank going to move forward a little further. It's going to get itself sieged, and again the orbital command coming through as well. Just trying to get to that low ground. We definitely want to get that positioned here as this tank sieges up again. We're just going to get one shot off. Stalker already taking a bit of damage. SCVs are going to transfer across. And a couple of bunkers still going down, so just getting bunkers ready. There's the Banshee, the tank, and the Cloak all coming through. The Stalkers trying to go onto the orbital. We're actually going to blink for the tank. That tank is just out of position, gets killed off. Nice catch. Beautiful catch, in fact, from herO as we now have these Stalkers pinging through the orbital command. The Marines are going to come back through and fight against this. The SCV's coming out as well. The orbital will have to just retreat away back into the main base. And still not able to take the natural. Well, ByuN has got Cloaked Banshees. This time he's probably going to commit through to them. Prism pops out. Observer on the way. That cannot come soon enough based on what ByuN is about to do with these Banshees. So let's see how that goes. Another call down supply depot as ByuN struggles with supply blocks. And just struggles with getting out of his base in general. This pressure from herO puts this in. It's because herO pressures early, the pressure keeps up, right? ByuN stays in this position where he's going to struggle a little bit to really recover or anything as our Banshee just going to continue onto this for a few moments as well. Just going to see the Banshee taking a few more shots. Stalker's chasing away. We blink forward. Banshee falls. We do have a couple SCVs coming around. The siege tank coming up as well. Observer probes continue through as our Stalker's going to go jumping onto this tech lab. For a couple more moments. That tech lab will take a few more shots. Our Marine still coming through. A Stimpack taking a couple of shots. The tank is going to fire back. We do just continue to have back and forth action for the moment. As our Stimpack will take a few more hits. One Marine going down. herO's supply is obviously not like crazy good or anything, even though he's kind of kept his opponent back for a reasonable portion of this game. He's just having himself a good little time of this harassment as our Stalkers gonna walk into these Marines. That ain't so pretty. Obviously, he's got the Stalkers on the low ground at the same time. ByuN just needs to try and, again, keep getting siege tanks up. The more of those tanks he gets back up, the better off he should be. But herO finds himself 9 workers, putting himself back into a worker lead. And still is very committed to these Stalkers, obviously. Still warping in a lot off of the 4 gateways. Still absolutely trying to hammer home the point right now. The Marines are going to come back around. The tank is going to relocate just slightly. The orbital's still taking damage. A couple more mules dropping in. The Stalkers blink up. The first tank going down. The other tank firing. Orbital is actually really on fire. We're going to blink forward. I mean, herO knows. If he just keeps knocking these tanks down, he has so much potential. And the Prism Micro coming in as well. He's going to continue to take himself into a pretty darn good worker lead. This is going to be 42 to 33, and the army supply is starting to be in his favor. Stim is on the way. But there's also just a lot of Marines that are low HP right now, and we're killing these off before medevac show up. We blink forwards. herO says, get out of my finals. And herO takes it 3-2 over ByuN. herO is going to win